Hi, welcome to Life in a Bottle, Season 3, Episode 15. I am Kyle, and I am back with a sequel to last week's wine. Last week we featured the first Subject to Change wine, the Party Monster Rosé, and this week we are back with the 2018 Big Sun Energy Grenache from Subject to Change. Start out big picture, as always. Where are we? We're in the United States. We're in California. We're in Mendocino County. And more specifically, we are in Sunhawk Farms vineyard. This 100% Grenache is sourced solely from this vineyard. Alex Pomerantz, as we discussed last week, started Subject to Change Winery in 2017, setting out to make natural wines with as little winemaker intervention as possible, and sourcing these wines solely, with no exceptions, from organic and biodynamically farmed vineyards. One of those vineyards that he's partnered with is Sunhawk Farms. It's owned by John Schaefer for about 20 years now. John and his foreman, Manuel Nunez, have been managing this property biodynamically and holistically. They've got a lot going on the property, from 8 acres of Rhone variety grapes, including Grenache, to a lavender labyrinth and an olive orchard and nuts and fruits and vegetables. He's feeding his family there. And it's all managed as one holistic ecosystem. It's not managed as separate crops. They're not spraying anything. Again, certified biodynamic. This is like the ultimate hippie farming, good for the earth, with the focus on sustainability and the entire ecosystem surrounding the property as well. The emphasis of the farm has been the energy of the property, which is really what struck Alex when he visited the property. And that's what inspired the name of this wine. This wine is 100% Grenache. Once the grapes are harvested, they're taken to the winery and allowed a brief carbonic maceration, which carbonic maceration is the style of winemaking that is used most commonly in Beaujolais in the Northern Rhone. That just allows all those fruit flavors to be concentrated and become much, much richer before tannins can be drawn from the skins and the seeds of the grapes. After this carbonic maceration, the grapes are pressed and allowed to ferment completely before spending another 4 weeks in contact with the skins and the seeds. So they're getting a significant concentration before fermentation and after fermentation. That said, it's not as burly as it might sound, but we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get in the glass in a second here. After fermentation is complete and they're allowed that extended 4-week maceration, they're racking the wine into huge 500-liter neutral oak puncheons, so great big wooden barrels. No influence from oak flavors at all, but they do get all those benefits of the surface area with the oak, so they're getting a little bit of micro-oxidation as the wine ages, and it's really just conditioning that wine further and adding another level of texture, another layer of texture. The wine then is racked into one great big large tank before bottling. They're not fining, they're not filtering, they're not adding sulfur at any step in the process. All of the yeasts are indigenous, just whatever comes in on the grapes from the vineyard. So Alex is using winemaking techniques, but aside from that, he's not adding anything to this wine. It is bottled as pretty much as naked as it could be. Let's dive into the glass here. This wine is just so electric and alive. We got juicy, fresh summer strawberries, bright, ripe raspberries. There's a granitic mineral that, again, kind of reminds me a little bit of Beaujolais, but it's in front of this like mushroomy soil, garden soil earthiness. There's a little floral thing, a little like sun-dried wildflower coming out. It's really, really expressive and absolutely beautiful. On the palate, again, the fruit is concentrated and rich, but it's still tart and fresh and alive. It's super bright. The tannin is kind of surprising, just because of how delicate the nose is, but given the winemaking style, they're adding a lot of structure to this wine. It's still completely approachable, but it's a pretty serious wine. There's, again, a little bit more of that mushroomy earth coming through, and a little bit of dried woody herbs, some rosemary, some thyme, things like that. And there's a little bit of meaty umami that comes through on the finish. There's a lot happening in this bottle, and it is awesome. Pairings. This is like the ultimate summer grill wine. I would have this with a porterhouse or olive oil drizzled lamb chops with some roasted herbs, some summer veggies, mushrooms, zucchini, anything like that that's marinated in some herbs and olive oil. I think would be killer with this. I think it also could stand up to a holiday roast, so we're not limiting it to just summer, but I think over the next 6 months is where I will be drinking the lion's share of my collection of this wine. That said, if any makes it to the holidays, I think this could go for a handful of years and continue to develop seriously in the bottle. Alex, cheers. Another absolute winner. I cannot wait to pair this with a beautiful dinner. I got nothing else to say, man. This is really, really an absolutely killer wine. Cheers.